Welcome back to Team Talks. On Sunday, it's Arsenal versus Brighton at the Emirates. Let's hear now from both managers, beginning with Mikel Arteta.
It has to be. I think it was a really good process, really well-run process. I think it gave the opportunity to them to explain how they felt, myself how I felt as well, and the reasons behind it. And okay, the outcome is that I'm not charged. But I think we have to draw a line as well and look for how we can be much more constructive and learn from it and move forward. That's it. But it was good. I felt a lot of sympathy, to be fair. Once I explained as well how we feel some days as managers, the pressure that we are under and how important details are for our job. Because I love what I do so much and I want to continue doing it. The reality last year it was that 40 managers lost their jobs, which is incredible. And we depend on results, that's it. So when the outcome at the end is that important, we get really emotional about it because now nobody remembers what happens. 3 weeks ago when you lost a game, you lost another one because of a different reason. So I think it was a really good process.
Another one on referees, but just one more, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I sat through the 5-minute explanation of why Kai Havertz's goal wasn't given and came away thinking I might just be more confused than I was before. Are you satisfied, because you weren't at the time, that they got the outcome right even if the rule doesn't seem to necessarily be working?
The handballs, anything that happens in the box has to be crystal clear, and unfortunately even today it's very difficult to understand what it is because there's so many things that can happen, but we are in the direction to resolve that. I think we are all very eager to resolve it in the best possible way, and I'm positive that it will happen.
Sorry, I did say one more about the ref, but I forgot another one because there will be a little bit of history on the 23rd and when Rebecca Welsh becomes the first female to referee. I wondered what your reaction to it is, kind of, I guess, the diversity, the impact of it, the history making, what she might bring differently.
I think it's a great news. Wish Rebecca all the best in this new experience. I think the feedback is going to be really positive. I think what women's football is on and the diversity that we have now is incredibly positive for the league, and I think it's something that was needed.
It feels like a long time ago, but it was we see a defeat last time out at Villa. But what we've seen from your side this season is that when you have, on the rare occasions, lost, you come back well. It's 6, isn't it, wins since that Newcastle. What is it about your side this year, and that kind of must give you quite a lot of confidence going into the weekend?
That we will try. We will try to play our best, and we love winning. And the team is desperate to do anything that it takes to win games. And we showed that. We showed that against Aston Villa, which, in my opinion, again we were the better team, and we should have won the game. And we will try against Brighton, which is going to make life very difficult for us for sure.
I wanted to ask you about Brighton. Last 3 visits to the Emirates, they've won. What is it about that team that makes them so hard to beat?
Now they are a really good side. It's true that last year when we had the game under control is when we conceded the goal, and then the game completely broke up, and we struggled, especially in the last 15 minutes of the game. So we're going to have to play better and be very efficient, which is key against them.
Got Anita from the Premier League.
Hi, Mikel.
Hi.
Can I get team news, please? Any updates? Is Martinelli feeling better?
Martinelli's feeling good.
Will he be in contention?
Yeah. We had no other news apart from Mo. Mo had to be subbed because he felt something in his hamstring. We did a scan and it doesn't look too serious, so he's going to be with us, I think, very soon, which is good news as well.
You repeatedly tell us about the standards of this club and that every game is a must-win game for Arsenal, but given that it's Liverpool next and they are above you in the table, just how much more important is a win against Aston Villa or something?
Against Brighton. It's okay. Like every week, at the end we have to play against every team, and obviously the schedule is what it is right now, but we have 2 big games coming up, and then we have as well the 28th and the 31st. So this period is vital around this moment in the year, and we'll try to win every game, that's for sure.
And then just finally, what have you made of Brighton's start to the season? They're ninth in the table, and 10 points behind Arsenal at the moment.
I think they've been really good. I think they have taken another level. They play European football. They've been really successful. You could see last night against what they did. They've done that after selling players, after a lot of injuries. So huge credit for them, for Roberto, coaching the staff, the club, what they're doing, because it's really impressive.
Thank you, best of luck.
George from BBC.
Thanks, Dan. Mikel, hello. In the FA report, it said that you met managers and officials 2 days before the Newcastle game and you presented some ideas. Can you just explain to us, and I think fans will be really interested to hear your ideas about what you want to improve the process going forward as a manager?
Those are private meetings that I cannot explain what we discuss in there. I'm sorry.
Okay. This may be very simplistic, but it also said that Joe Willock said that the ball was out of play. So my next question really is it time for the players to sort of take a bit more responsibility and maybe be a bit more honest, because none of this would happen, the goal wouldn't get given, you wouldn't have to do your interview. So should the players be a little bit more helpful to improve the process?
Let the players, I think they have enough. The players with a lot of things that they have to do. That let's not put more in their plates, I think.
Okay, and the next question is just simply is why are Brighton such a bogey team for Arsenal? Because they have a habit of beating you once a season. So what is it they do specifically to cause you so many problems?
Because they are really good. They have really good players. Their way of playing is very specific and cause you problems, and it takes you to a game that it's very specific, and they were efficient. After efficiency in football is key, and on that day they were more efficient than us.
Thank you.
Ian from TalkSport.
Hi, I hope you're well.
Yes.
Good. Would you say what you said? Now you've been cleared, and we can speak in hindsight and what have you. Would you say again what you said and use the word disgrace, or have you gone home and thought, actually, maybe I wouldn't next time say exactly what I said in the way that I said it?
That's in life is too easy, isn't it? It's too easy in life to do that. What would I have done if I knew? Whatever I've done.
If it happens again.
It was done. I defended my opinion. I expressed my opinion. I say again that I'm fully supportive of how we have to improve the game, and the referees are a big part of that, and they know that. Managers as well, players as well, everybody is involved, and we have the duty and responsibility to do that. And as well, it's good that we can discuss things in an open and honest way, and this is what I try to do.
If there was a league table for managers who, on the sidelines, are very passionate and sort of, behind their team and what have you, I think actually you'd be second behind Roberto De Zerbi. I've seen him a lot this season. He's very, very, like you, kicks every ball. On Sunday, is it going to be almost as fun watching you two on the touchline as it is the actual match?
I don't. That's not down to you. I think we live the game as we feel it. As when I was a player, it was very similar as well. And everybody's got his own way of being and talking and communicating, and I think it's great. As long as we are genuine, I think that's very good.
On a personal level, how well do you get on with Roberto, and how well what do you think of the job he's done at Brighton since he replaced Graham Potter? Yeah,
I know. I spoke to him a few times about different topics. I follow him in his career since he was in Sassuolo, actually, before he moved to Ukraine, and very impressive what they do. I love the way their teams play and what is accomplished in the Premier League as well.
We lost 6 points against Fulham, Sheffield and Barley, and I can't accept it, because with 6 points more we should be in the 5th place on the table, and we could have 32 points. I think they have to believe more in themselves, because they have big qualities.
We don't know what's going to happen in this match, but one thing is for sure. Brighton games have goals. 32 games in a row they've scored, and they've not kept a clean sheet in 20.
Yeah, I mean, I love watching them, I do. Probably for that reason, you know what, you're going to get lots of goals and action, but I like the style of football that he plays. We've watched Tottenham tonight, but they're no different, you know, they're going to be attacking. You know, you're going to see some star quality players. Matoma, I absolutely love. You see young players given a chance, and a manager that gives everything on the side as well. So, yeah, I love watching him, and have ever since he's come in, to be honest. So I'm excited to see what they do against Arsenal, though, because I don't think Arsenal attack are free-flowing. I don't think Jesus Martinelli or Saka are particularly in great form. I think they've been stifled a lot this season. Even though they're getting the results, Arsenal, I wouldn't say the front three are flying though.
And Brighton have a great record at the Emirates. They've won the last 3 in all competitions as well.
I think it's a very dangerous fixture for Arsenal, I really do. I love De Zerbi. I think he's a top draw manager. I think he should be at Man United, in my opinion. I think he's that good. You know, I think he would jump to that chance as well. He really would. I mean, he's got a playing identity, what they're crying out for at United. This guy's rehearsing every time he goes onto the Premier League stage. He knows he's not going to be at Brighton for the rest of his career. He knows he wants to take a step to the big club, and it's whoever's brave enough to give him that opportunity, but I certainly would be. I think it's a really dangerous fixture. I think Mikel knows that. He knows the quality. We talk about Matoma, Evan Ferguson, you know, João Pedro. They've got real good players, but even players you don't know about. They don't sign bad players, Brighton. They really don't. And they've got a manager who wants to improve every one of them. So, very difficult fixture. I couldn't call this one.
We haven't even talked about Gross, who's had 5 goal involvements in the last 4 games.
Yeah, I mean, again, but like you said, we didn't mention him. The only thing I'd say for Brighton is that I think Arsenal rested a few of their players, didn't they, midweek? And I know Brighton had that Europa game. And so energy-wise, they might be at a bit of a disadvantage. But like we've just said there, they have quality all over the pitch. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully it is full of goals for the neutral. But like Tim said, I don't think it's going to be an easy one for Mikel.
Karen said that the Arsenal attack isn't really firing. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I just think they're not doing bad, are they? You look at the position they're in the league, it's not bad, but they're not. I think they're more stubborn. I think they're with Declan Rice. I think he helps them be more protection in the midfield areas. But Martinelli and Saka haven't reached the heights of last season. Jesus has been interrupted with injuries. Odegaard's not the same player as he was last year. But they're in a fantastic position and they will come good and they will come into a rhythm. I just hope for Arsenal fans' sake they can put a rhythm together like Man City will, without doubt, come into a rhythm as well, and they'll win 10, 15 games on the spin. Now, we don't want it to be a one-horse race again. We want it to be a lot of teams in it. At the moment in time, there is a lot of teams in it. It's very exciting, the most competitive Premier League we've had for a very long time. And long may that continue, but we need teams like Arsenal to put their rhythm together. And if they do, we need like some Martinelli, Saka, Odegaard to get back to their best.
What did you think about them against Villa? Because they lost there, but they also then had Saka, who you mentioned has been great at the Emirates. I think only 1 game he hasn't been involved in a goal.
Well, I think for 20 minutes, Villa dominated the game. I thought they were very much in control. But then for after that, then it was all Arsenal. It was like, come on, how are you going to do it? And they dominated the game. And I think these were the chances that they had. But I think going back to Saka, though, teams in this situation, look, there's 2 or 3 players around him, and then he gets that crossing, that delivery in. But these type of goals here, they're quick throw-ins. You know, they're kind of finding it. They're not playing through teams. You know, look, Saka there, 2 players on him. How's he going to break it through? A bit of magic. They're triple teaming them. And to be fair, like Tim said, they are finding a way. But if you add in the goals of Saka, Martinelli and Jesus, and you compare them to the strike force of City, Liverpool, they are behind. And I would hate it come the end of the season that those goals added up would be the difference of them not winning the league or winning the league. Because if you're going to win the Premier League, and this is a chance where, for me, City aren't firing, and with the squad that they've got, now is your time. This is your time to beat City and win the Premier League. So this is a great opportunity.
I agree. I think they need to put consistency together. They need to get in a rhythm, really go on the front foot. It looked like they're playing in second gear to me, but like I say, I keep going to reiterate it. They're in a brilliant position in the league. They're waiting for the race to start. The race hasn't started yet, but believe me, Man City know that as well. Kevin De Bruyne is waiting. They're chomping at the bit, waiting to come back into this side as well. And if they can get Haaland fit as quickly as possible, they're going to put a run together. Everyone knows that, so you need to be on their coattails when it comes. And I think Arsenal are capable of doing it. Liverpool are. And who else? I'm not sure Aston Villa have got the quality or the experience at the moment, but certainly them 3 teams will give us a title race this season.
Very quickly, what do you think Brighton will have looked to that Villa game to replicate?
Start fast. Like I said, I thought Villa for the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes dominated the game. And if you're Brighton, you go all out, first 10, 15 minutes at the Emirates. Arsenal have been slow at times over the last 18 months. I've seen early goals they've conceded. And then do what Aston Villa did, be compact and defend. I don't think that is De Zerbi's style. I think he'll continue to do that nice attacking football. But first 15 minutes, go for them, because Arsenal have showed some vulnerabilities in that period.
It is time now for predictions, our favourite part of Team Talks. So let's get started with you, Karen. Bournemouth versus Luton Town.
Bournemouth 2, Luton 1.
And why?
I just think Bournemouth at home in the form that they're in. I just fancy them, and I think Luton, like I said, the goal margin has only been roughly 1 or so, and they've been learning and getting better every week. But I just fancy Bournemouth.
Tim?
I think 2-0. I can't see Luton scoring. I really can't. I think the most of their goals come from set pieces. I think that Bournemouth very organised defensive set pieces. So 2-0 to Bournemouth.
Let's start with you this time. Chelsea, Sheffield United.
Chelsea and Cuckoo back in the squad. I'm not sure he's going to start. He might come off the bench, but I think they should have too much firepower. This is a result Pochettino desperately needs. They need to beat Sheffield United. I think they're going to win 3-0.
Karen?
2-0 Chelsea.
Why?
Just at home, and I think they will get that early goal. I think it will settle the nerves, and then it's difficult for Sheffield United.
Man City, Crystal Palace.
2-0 Man City. I know they've got a few players out, but I just think at home they're so strong, and they're starting to pick their feet up again. Not that they're ever. I know they had that little bit of a bad run, but I think City at home is too good, and Palace are not on great form.
Tim?
4-0.
That's it? Okay.
No chance. No chance of Palace dropping like a stone.
Newcastle, Fulham?
Newcastle at home, I just think they're going to edge it. I think it'll be tight though. I could see possibly a 1-0 Newcastle.
2-1 away team.
Okay, so divided here then. What about Burnley versus Everton?
Everton 2-0.
Why do you think?
Just think they're in really good form, Everton. I know they've got a few players out defensively, but I just think the wide players have got too much, and the quality they have in the final third.
Scoreline for you?
1-0 Burnley, 1-0 Everton. I think they're set traps and they'll just nick the ball off them. They'll try and play out too much, and they'll just nick the ball off them, and they'll win 1-0.
All right, on Sunday it's Arsenal versus Brighton. Your prediction?
Arsenal 2, Brighton 2.
2-1 Arsenal.
So lots of goals. That's what you agree on.
Yeah.
Okay, next one is Brentford versus Aston Villa.
Aston Villa 1-0.
Okay.
I'm going to say 1-1. I think they might slip up because they're away from home, and Brentford desperate for a result themselves.
West Ham, starting with you, versus Wolves.
West Ham 1, Wolves 2.
That's what I was going to say.
I think he sets them up brilliantly away from home, Gary O'Neill, and I think they're very patient. Cunha, for me, is one of the top players in the Premier League. I really believe that. I think he'll play for any top side. He's playing him in the correct position now as a number 10. I think he bursts forward, he makes them tick. I'm going to say 2. I'm going to say they'll win this game at the London Stadium.
And you agree? Why?
All of that. I really like Gary O'Neill. I like what he's done. I think sometimes they've been a bit lucky with some decisions this part of the season, but overall I think he's done really well out of them. Great on the counter-attack, organised. And I just think West Ham at this moment could go there and get a result, and I think they will.
You can take a little bit of time here because it is the headline game of the weekend, the Titanic clash. Karen, I'm going to start with you. Liverpool versus Manchester United.
4-0 Liverpool.
You got to tell us why.
Just think they've got too many goals in them. I think Manchester United away, I think the week that they've had, the injuries, the suspensions, don't know what team they're going to start with, the inconsistency, and I think Liverpool at home, front-footed, aggressive, the intensity, I think it'd be too much for United to handle.
I'm going to say 4-1, but for all them reasons, Kaz, but I think they score. I think Rashford will play, and I think Rashford will score. It's going to be a difficult afternoon for Ten Hag and Manchester United team. But we know that they got beat 7-0 last year. It'll get better, but it'll be a 4-1 defeat.
Which game are you most looking forward to besides that game?
No, that one.
That's it?
There's no other one.
Karen, agree?
Yeah, I think that's the one we've all got our eyes on. Excited for that one, bring it on.
Well, it's obviously a painful goal for you to reflect on, a painful result for you to reflect on, but a fair result, wasn't it?
You know what? They scored at a time in the game, and they scored, and they opened us up so well that is you had to sit up and think, okay, yeah, they're the real. They definitely are the real deal. Not that you're thinking that they're not, but like what I instantly started to think about was, okay, how do we react to this? Because they played very well, and I thought that we reacted pretty well. We were playing against a team. 14 wins on the spin at home. They're in unbelievable confidence in respect to their confidence and momentum. And I thought we dealt with that pretty well, the way we played. You know, because we should have ourselves scored a couple of goals, Kels. But like Villa, and it's the way, you know, the way they beat City as well, you know what I mean? They fought with City and then they had the capability in the end through Leon Bailey to score that goal, even though it was deflected. But in our game, they were so solid. In the City game, they were so solid. They kept going. They play football. They're very physical and they're very organised. It was like, you're going to have to play well to beat this team.
Right, can I ask you something? Don't you think, like Zinchenko, as good a ball player as he is, don't you think you need something a little bit different at left back? I know he comes into midfield, creates overload. That goes from him being out of position.
Yeah.
Stop coming into midfield. You're not doing anything
But
in
this
there.
is what this is.
Just be as a defender.
But this is what he wants him as.
Yeah, but
this is what he wants him as, and I think that, you know, if he had a Tomiyasu, he probably, maybe if Tomiyasu was fit, he'd probably keep him there. Like, you look at it now, you think Kieran Tierney as a out-and-out left back, staying in that position and not being so vulnerable when you come inside, because, like, you can't tell me that the teams now are not targeting the fact that Zinchenko will come inside, so there's space on that right-hand side, because that's where the goal came from. And that's something now that's, people can see that as a bit of an Achilles heel for us.
I think it's, I'll be honest, from me, I think it's your only weakness, the left back. I think the rest of the team's good enough to go and win the league. But I think I wouldn't be amazed if Edu and Mikel aren't thinking, right, do we get another centre-back and play like Pep? You know, Gabriel maybe a left back, or do we go get a classic left back? But I think...
Because they tried Kivio there as well.
Yeah, they did, yeah.
Didn't quite work.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that Villa have to get a lot of credit, because obviously Unai knows about Arsenal. He knows how Mikel wants to play. And I thought they put us under a lot of pressure. And we still kind of came out of stuff and created something. So I was very calm about it. But I was thinking, can we get the chance and can we take the chance? Because that's what we need, Julian, the half chance so you get yourself back in the game. Because we had enough possession, Kells, where we put them under pressure. But in the end, the goalkeeper made them good saves.
For Odegaard, especially the two that Odegaard made. The one that Martinez saved, the other one that is off target.
I think Saka as well on that offside. There's a lot of things that's just like little margins. You just have to be a little bit more. You have to be a bit more focused, because we know how the margins are. And, you know, Saka seen the whole line, and it was a high line from Villa. And I thought we took quite long, Kels, to break the back down. We've got to move it quick and get through that high line. And sometimes I thought that Saka, you can't be offside when you can see the whole line. That is one of the things that you can't be.
The delivery of the ball was a bit too late at times. The goal that Saka scored is marginal offside. Wright can play a second earlier and he's onside.
Yes.
But from all the away performances at Villa Park this season, I think this was the best. Yeah. Arsenal played well. Emi Martinez said after the game, we suffered for 85 minutes, which they didn't do against City, where they controlled the whole game from start to finish pretty much. So there are positives, but at the end, you still lost the game.
They're so strong.
We've said this so many times, though, this season, or certainly since the opening 3 weeks or so, is that a defeat doesn't feel as catastrophic in terms of a title challenge this season as it has done in previous seasons, because there are teams out there who can all take points off each other. And Aston Villa have just had the most extraordinary week. That really controlled performance against Manchester City, a City side without Rodri, and we know the difference that makes.
Without De Bruyne.
But then getting the win against Arsenal in a very different way, and still managing to get 3 points against two of the tops, title challenges. It takes them up to third place in the table. It's been incredible for them.
They're so well organised. You know, I think Pau Torres at the back is a really good find. Luka Dean is always doing, and you know, they played Konsa over that side to deal with Martinelli, and I thought he done very well. But then you got the midfield with like McGinn, who's you look what happened to him under Gerrard. It wasn't happening for him. You know, he wasn't even in the side. And Kamara and Douglas, they are so organised. And then Ollie Watkins up front with Leon Bailey with the form he's in. They're so organised in all the departments that you've got problems at every stage of Aston Villa because they're so organised. They keep themselves in the game. They've got with Ollie Watkins. I thought, as well as Saliba did, he kept him occupied. Yeah. I felt like I just didn't feel comfortable with it, and that is why they've got 14 wins there. You know, the only thing that could tell Villa is the fact that Unai Emery will want to win that conference. He'll want to win that because that's how he is. Yeah. But like for me, Villa right now, coming off of beating those two teams, and the confidence to go into any game now, oh, any game and feel, no, we can win this game. They are a serious contender to win this league.
I mean, look at that home record.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a home record.
That's amazing.
To be a champion.
That's
February,
amazing.
they haven't lost that.
That is a team that's on it. You look back at this, if the Villa did do it, you say, well, look what they've done up to that point.
But they don't have, I don't think that Villa team have any weaknesses. They got a World Cup winner in goal.
Yes.
They got Brazilian international, they got French international, they got English, they got literally, they're just full of top
And they're under
players.
the radar because everybody's just thinking, oh, Villa trying to get in the top 4. Villa, with this manager, is trying to win the league.
Yeah.
You think they're trying to win?
I think they're trying to win the league because what's going to happen now, I mean, if I'm in Villa's dressing room now, Kels, beating Man City, and then you know when you play against a team, you think, yeah, they're good, but
we could beat them.
We could beat them. Then you beat Arsenal after, like he rightly said, they suffered. There's not another team out there that you think, well, if Liverpool come, yeah, come on then. Chelsea, you're not bothered about anyone else. So now it's going to come down to Villa's mentality and how they now approach each game.
That's a nice run of fixtures for them as well through to the end of January. Brentford, Sheffield United, Man United, Burnley, Everton, and then Newcastle. I mean, by the end of January, they'll have quite a few players back, so there'll be a different proposition from
those home games.
From what we saw yesterday.
The away form has been the away form. Really, if we look at the season, is the one that maybe they've dropped points. They got battered at Liverpool and Newcastle, of course, on the opening day of the season. It's been a bit better. The Bournemouth win, the Bournemouth draw that we said, and the win at Spurs, which was a good win from a Villa point of view. A little bit fortunate, maybe overall. So it got better. But if they can sort out the away form a bit better. Then I think, of course,
Can anybody work that out? Well, because obviously, if Unai Emery could see it and fix it, he obviously would have done. Can any of you sort of offer some insight as to why they're so different? Their record is so different at home than it is away. Is it to do with how they play?
Well, I think at home they've only been behind for like 20 minutes or 30 minutes. So I think at home they get ahead. And I think that then the crowd gets behind it and then become a proper force. I think away, maybe they're just chasing games a little bit more with that high line.
Yes,
they're getting picked off. So, but obviously, I mean, he's done in 15. What's he been there? 13 months?
Yeah, 14 months.
He's done an
another
incredible
example,
job.
I think something like 9 of the starting 11, maybe 8, but the vast majority of those players were there under Steven Gerrard.
Yeah.
And so he's another example, Emery, of a manager who can come in and with almost the same group of players, transform the way that they play and transform the level at which they
they're so organised. So when you've got a team that are so organised, because I do feel like the high line it's precarious.
Yeah. Right, you would have eaten that up.
I'd have loved that. I would have loved that because if you've got a midfielder with any kind of, I would say if you find any time on the ball, just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. People are not doing that. They're very confident with what they're doing, Villa, and they're very organised. Plus, they've got 5, 6, 7 players who are playing extremely well.
Yeah.
So then, Kels, the confidence, what's coming with that, the physicality, top goalkeeper, you just feel like you're almost playing at home and you just feel a bit invincible, especially when you do go up. And you've got 15 games now you've won at home, you genuinely start believing we can't lose here.
And as well, we mentioned the team and the internationals, but the bench, what I was telling, I think, against City, Unai Emery didn't make a sub until the 80th minute. Against Arsenal, at half-time, there was already a sub. He made 4 by the hour, but he brought on Diaby and Cash and players who you can rely on, who could easily be starting in that team as well. And when you are fighting to win that game like they did against Arsenal, to have that kind of quality on your bench is priceless.
Well, Tielemans is the one.
Yeah,
as good as the midfield 3, I think, is one of the most underrated in the league. Luis, Kamara, and McGinn. But I think Emery realised he needed something different. And he brought in Tielemans.
Yes.
And he just plays that little extra pass. He saw something in the way Pep played, in the way Arsenal played. Let's get Tielemans in there. Just keep it a little bit more. They had no real wingers.
Quality like that.
And it's amazing his attention to detail, Emery. He's exceptional.
He makes very few changes. I think Villa are either the team with the fewest changes to their starting lineup, or they're certainly one of them in the Premier League. And I wonder if that might be something that comes back towards the end of the season or in the second half of the season, that maybe the squad isn't quite big enough, so an injury here or there might destabilise them. Maybe sort of finding themselves in a position where they are challenging at the top of the table might just knock them off course. Because I think there's definitely a sense that this can't last for Villa. But what do you think the reasons for that are?
Well, they're having a lot of luck with the injuries. I think everybody's having injuries. But then you look at it, you think, OK, who gets injured? If Ollie Watkins get injured, maybe McGinn gets injured, the goalkeeper. You know what I mean? They don't seem to be when you look at it in that respect, Kels, you think, well, maybe that will curtail them a little bit. But when you look at the guys that he was able to bring on, fresh and strong, you do feel like it's going to be that kind of thing that's going to curtail them. It's the injuries, because at the moment, there's so many players playing well. And it seems to me that even the guys who are waiting to come in, they're happy with the fact that, OK, I'm getting my chance now. It doesn't feel like there's a lot of dissension in the camp, because I believe that they're starting to believe, whoa, we've just beaten them, something's happening here. And I kind of get a Leicester vibe where Leicester at some stage would have went, you know something's happening here. We're doing stuff here. You know what I mean? So
it'd be interesting to see if the club think that, right, now with this window, Champions League, maybe even the league, should we maybe go get somebody to help Oli, lighten the load at the top of the pitch, maybe get another body? Because if they go get 2 top players, you know, with Monchi and Emery, they don't really miss in the market. So if they go get 2 to help out with the depth,
wow.
And the thing is, Villa are going to be a problem.
They're going to be a problem, because you can go in January, you can say to him, listen, I need him and I need him, and I think that we can actually have a real proper go at this.
And that made exciting times for Villa fans. But look, even if they bring in that depth, and it's 13 changes this season, which is less than anyone else. So he likes the players he likes, and he likes to stick with those players, and maybe has to stick with those players. So if he gives himself options, that might be something that can see them take it to that next step.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Sorry, Chris.
No, all I was going to ask is if Villa are performing at, say, the maximum of their potential, would you suggest that the other teams, or could you argue that the other teams around them, who will also be challenging for the title for top 4, have got another level to go to? Or we would expect another level from them. They might not show it this season.
But we know they all have a level. Arsenal got more. Liverpool got more. City got a lot more, especially with Kevin coming back.
But Tottenham have got players to come back. Fitness. Newcastle have got players to come back.
They've got to ride it,
fitness from January
Villa
onwards.
Will have to maintain that level of performance through the matches. They will have to go away at City. They will have some tough away.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's what I wonder. That's what I wonder if that's going to play into it. That's them as well as they can do, which is brilliant.
Yeah.
But the other teams are going to come stronger.
Yeah, it's a good question, Kel, because you do feel like Villa right now are probably, if you say the best we can do is what they're doing now.
Peaked early.
Yes. And then now you just go on you just go now. You just keep going and hope you don't get the injuries. But it's very exciting for Villa now, because if I am the owners now, I'm probably going to give him whatever he wants in January. I'm going to give him it.
Keys to the city.
I'm giving him the keys to the city, because he can go in there now, Jules, and say, you know what?
100%.
We've just beaten them and we've beaten them. I think if we get him and him, I think we've got a good chance.
Yeah, and we said Monchi is his best friend. The director of football is his best friend. So Unai has restructured the football side at the football club like he wanted, with his people in there. So they're all on the same page. He won't knock at the door and people say, nah, I disagree with you. They will all be going to the same direction.
It's good. It's good, because like now we've got a load of teams challenging. Instead of we've got one team trying to chase down City, there's 3 or 4 teams who are in the mix now. It's exciting. And probably that's why I know we're going to speak about them. This is probably why Chelsea have gone under the radar. So we'll see. But we're coming on to...
They were going under the radar. until about 3 minutes' time, in which case they'll be very much in everybody's radar after you've had your say on them. By the way, Aston Villa on the same points total as Leicester were at this stage of their title-winning season.
Wow. I'm feeling something else. I'm feeling something.
That man produced there.
Just pluck that out of there.
Brabant region, to be exact, in the city of Eindhoven. My name is Derek Ray, and joining me for commentary, as always, is Lee Dixon. And we're fully convinced this game will live up to its billing. It's PSV versus Arsenal.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. Lovely to be here. I can't wait for this one. A nice, quick tempo from both sides will be ideal for me. Let's hope we get that. Should be a great game.
So the corner played into the box. Just unable to take advantage of that developing situation. Granit Xhaka. Moving forward effectively. Can he put them in front? Well, it was a wonderful chance, but the goalkeeper comes through.
Well, he's done really well with his angles there. Good reactions too.
And that was a very fine read. Well, he's often been a player for big and special moments. Mario Götze. Lee, what do you think we'll see from him in this game?
Well, the more you give this lad the ball, the better the team normally plays. He switches the ball, he links play from left to right, up and down the pitch. He keeps possession, a brilliant player.
Oh, lovely incisive pass. Oh, that's an awful finish, and the goalkeeper could do nothing but hang on to it.
Easy save for the keeper. Absolutely terrible finishing from the attacker.
Mario Götze. Zahavi with it. An attack full of promise. Precise ball movement. And able to get a body in the way. The press was on and it worked. Well, they're on the scent of something positive. It looked as though he almost forced the shot that time.
Well, it's okay shooting from there, but you have to test the keeper.
Well, pressing really high. And the ball's gone. And players waiting in the centre. Great chance with that header, but he sent it wide of the